Hey guys, I'm Silverwolf and I'm here to tell you a little bit more about if you want to make your boo-boo a fur. I've got a few tips and tricks that you can use if you want to sew the fur for Boo-boo. Now Boo-boo, I've got a whole playlist on him. He's a little comfort robot, and this is what he looks like without his fur on, and the furs look like this. And you can just watch other videos if you want to see more of Boo-boo. So the Boo-boo, the actual furs that come with it, or that you can buy from the website, they all have this little lining on them, as you can see here, which protects the little robot from everything. And the lining is stitched to the inside of the fur. Now, I was going to do that originally when I made my furs. I was just going to do a lining for each one, but other people in the community have said, well, if you unpick the lining from the fur that comes with the Boo-boo, then you can just make the new furs and leave the lining on the robot, which still helps protect it, so you're not constantly taking furs on and off. And so it just makes it a bit easier. So the lining has the same pattern as the fur does, only of course it's smaller, and it does have this little gap here to help Boo-boo move. So the bottom part's kind of like cut in half. But you can see it's all been seamed and stitched here, which is nice. And that takes time. So it's easier if you just leave the original lining on Boo-boo, you unpick it from the fur, and then you can just make different furs and just put them on him as you wish. Now, a lot of people who make furs for their Boo-boos, it's because their children have the Boo-boo and the furs just get dirty and sort of scraggly in no time at all. So they like to make new furs for them. Plus, it's nice to give them a new look. So the fur, when it's finished, looks like this. Here's one I made earlier, as they used to say on the old TV shows. He's got his little feet there, which are separate. So the pattern is only 3 pieces. You've got this top bit, you've got the little round bit for the feet, and you have the bottom part as well. So if you want, you can make the bottom a different colour. And of course, there's a zipper, which zips up at the back here, like that. So, yeah. And there's the eyes. Now, 20mm eyes seem to be the ones that work best. Anything smaller, you can't really see very well. This one's got like sparkly coloured eyes. And this one here just has the plain black Boo-boo eyes, as you can see. And the fur's nice, sort of black and red kind of tipped fur, and it's got little matching feet. So a fur that's inside out looks like this. So you can see where all the stitching is and stuff. And most safety eyes do come with the pin on the back of the eye that kind of sticks out a long way. So what you want to do, and you've got to be very careful about this, by the way, if it's got a long pin on it, you can cut it off. They are quite difficult to cut off, or you can melt it using a hot knife. So you put the knife over the flame on the stove, you make sure it's really hot, and then you melt it so that it's flatter. If you don't do this, when Boo-boo moves, the eyes will brush against him and they'll kind of wiggle about, and it'll just look really odd. It doesn't look good when that happens, because my first Boo-boo fur, I didn't melt down the backs of the eyes, and yeah, it looked a bit strange. And I think, as far as I'm aware, they actually do this on the official furs as well. They just melt down the back. And it's easy enough to do, but, you know, you've got to be careful. So, if you're a young person, get supervision from someone more responsible, or, you know, who will be happy doing that. So for the pattern, I have marked down where the feet go. You can sort of see there. And where the zipper goes. Now the length of the zipper is 10 inches. And the hardest part with the zipper is attaching the zip. It's not easy. You've basically got to attach the zip, and in order to get the zip to work, you have to kind of like pull apart the zipper within the zip so that you start it off, and then it will just zip down. That's the difficult part. I watched someone's video on YouTube, really useful. She had the zipper and she put it on the zip, and she just kind of like pulled it apart like that, and it worked. When I tried to do it, it didn't work. So I had to get like a nail file and kind of slip it inside just to split the zip teeth apart, so that the zip would go down. Once it was started, it was fine. So that's what a Boo-boo fur looks like inside out. They're really easy to make. They don't take very long. Obviously you've got to source the parts. The eyes and the zippers came from Etsy, and all the fur came from Mohair Bear Making Supplies, which is a website. This is a UK one. In America you can find loads of amazing places that sell really, really great material. Unfortunately, over here in the UK we've got some variety, but we do not have the variety you have in America. For example, I've no idea where to source tinsel fur in the UK. I did find some tinsel fur from Mohair Bear Making Supplies. It was black with silver tinsel. Those of you may remember I made a fur like that as a prototype fur for my BooBoo. But yeah, there's so many options, and you can have longer fur or shorter fur or anything you like, really. And yeah, it's limited only by your imagination. So as for the pattern, if you want to make one that's got more than just the two colours, I wouldn't really recommend it, since the pattern has to work with the robot. So really all you can do is the top part one colour and the bottom part another colour, and the little feet a different colour. Other than that, sort of trying to do markings or like doing patterns apart, you can do it if you're really, really good at that kind of thing, but I wouldn't really recommend it, because like I said, it's got to work with the robot, it's got to move with the robot. And also, when you make your robot skins, make them slightly on the larger side, just so it's easy to get the robot in and out, and also so it doesn't impede the movements as well, because if you make them too small, it'll basically wear down the gears. So those who make BooBoo furs do recommend that you make them a little bit larger, just so that BooBoo has room to move inside the skin. So that's pretty much all I need to say on that. Yeah, they're easy to make once you have the pattern. I don't know if there's anyone who has the pattern like for sale or anything like that. How I did mine was I unpicked the original fur that came with the BooBoo and drew around it. And that's how I made the pattern for mine. And then once you've made it on paper, you can transfer it to card. Another important thing when making patterns is also if there's important notes, for example, how long the zipper is, note it down on the pattern, because it's all there, and isn't it? You know, any sort of marks where you need to know this or that, you can put it on the pattern and transfer it to the material afterwards. And then you have unlimited different colours that you can make your BooBoo. And I've seen some really, really amazing skins that people have made for their BooBoos in lovely colours. So yeah, it's all fun and creative. Anyway, for those of you making BooBoo skins, I hope this has helped. I did do another video on this ages ago now, when I made the original 2 skins for my BooBoo, Nick. But since then I've learned a few other things. For example, I didn't actually measure the zipper that came with the original BooBoo fur. So yesterday, because I used that zipper when I did Nick's fur, I had to actually measure it carefully to see what the length was, and now I've written it down, it should be easier. And you can also note down on the pattern what size eyes you need, etc., because it all helps. Anyway, if you want to see more of the Cupboo BooBoo Robot, you can click the boxes that come up below. As always, if you enjoy what I do, feel free to send me a tip on my Ko-fi. The link is in the description. And stay safe, stay healthy, and keep being awesome. This is Silver signing off.